The clock showed 12:30 a.m. when the first snowflakes started falling. Big, soft pieces of snow dropped from the dark sky like tiny white pillows. The roads were empty except for one shiny black car sitting outside an old, broken-down hotel at the edge of the wild Montana mountains. Inside that car was a man who used to be famous in business magazines as one of America's most powerful company owners. His name was Ethan Rowe. He was 46 years old and had made billions of dollars all by himself. He was the kind of person who could take failing companies and make them successful, turning quiet rumors into big news stories around the world. But right now, he wasn't thinking about work at all. He was staring at a young woman standing under the broken light at the hotel entrance, holding the small hands of two little girls who looked exactly the same. Her warm breath made small clouds in the freezing air. Her boots had holes in them. Her green army coat looked too thin to keep her warm. And sewn onto the sleeve, almost hidden under ice and dirt, was a special patch from a secret army mission that Ethan knew had ended very badly, and that all the official papers said no one had lived through. Please help us share stories of hope and kindness. If you believe good things can happen to good people, please like this video, write what you think in the comments, share it with friends who need to see something beautiful, and follow Kindness Corner. When you support us, we can keep telling these amazing true stories. Ethan wasn't meant to be there that night. He had been driving around without any plan for many days since the day his wife died 1 year ago. He couldn't stand being in his huge, quiet house in San Francisco with its 8 empty bedrooms. He had built tall buildings, bought whole companies, and given away millions of dollars to help people. But he couldn't stop feeling terrible about not being home when his wife fell down in their bathroom because of a blood vessel that burst in her brain without warning. It had broken his heart completely. Before, he was a man who loved numbers, clear thinking, and making smart plans. Now he was a man who couldn't stop hearing her last phone message playing over and over in his head. He stopped at the old hotel because something inside him told him to. Maybe it was meant to happen. Maybe it was cruel luck. Or maybe it was because of her. The woman's name was Harper Lane. She was 28 years old, and her whole life was like a sad song about never giving up, even when everything went wrong. She used to work as a doctor soldier in a special army group. Her job in northern Syria was never supposed to be on the news because it never ended the way it should have. Bad people attacked their trucks. Their radios stopped working. The airplanes that were supposed to help them never came. The big explosion buried most of her team under sand and pieces of metal. Harper lived because she crawled half a mile on her hands and knees with her shoulder hurt and sharp metal pieces stuck in her leg. She was dragging another soldier who was dying, and his last words asked her to please keep living. When she finally got to the place where the helicopter was supposed to pick them up, no one was there waiting for her. Nobody came to save her. She had to save herself. The government told everyone that all the soldiers had died because they wanted to keep their secret mission hidden from the world. And Harper, hurt in her heart and mind and body, and going to have twin babies from a man who had died in that desert, had to quietly disappear and start over. Now, years later, she was standing in the cold night, holding her daughters Riley and Rowan tight, trying to convince the hotel worker to let her rent a room with the last $50 she owned. The man at the front desk told her the heater was broken, but Harper didn't complain or look scared. She had lived through much worse things. Ethan didn't know her name yet. He didn't know what had happened to her before. But something about the way she stood there, with her back straight and her mouth set in a hard line, using her own body like a shield to protect her daughters like a soldier protecting people in a war, cut right through all his sadness and pain. He didn't think about what to do. He just got out of his car, walked into the hotel, and paid for her to stay there for a whole week. When she tried to say no and give the money back, he just said, "Nobody can make it through life all alone." The first night, Harper didn't close her eyes at all. She sat on the edge of the bed with one hand touching each of her sleeping daughters, listening carefully to every small sound the old building made. She didn't believe that people could be nice without wanting something bad in return. Not after everything she had seen. She had watched too many mean people pretend to care just to hurt others later. But in the morning, when she opened her door and saw the basket sitting there, full of warm gloves for children, fresh apples and oranges, and a note written by hand that said, "Let your girls feel warm tonight. You don't have to give me anything back. Something deep inside her heart started to change. For the next few days, Ethan stayed away from them. He didn't ask questions about her life. He didn't bother them or try to make them talk to him. But every morning, he always left something helpful outside their door. Clean diapers, a children's book, soft new blankets. And slowly, Harper started to feel less afraid and more hopeful. The little girls, feeling safe for the first time in a long time, began to laugh and play again. Riley started singing little songs under her breath. Rowan asked if the kind man had special powers like Santa Claus. When the week was almost over, Harper walked up to his door and knocked. Her eyes still looked sad and worried, but there was something strong and brave in them too. She gave him back the note he had written and asked him why he decided to help her and her children. Ethan, surprised by the question, just said, "You made me think of someone I should have protected but didn't. I couldn't let that happen again." That's when Harper told him her story. Not every detail, but enough of the truth. Enough to make Ethan's face turn white when she said the mission name, Operation Dustfall. He had been one of the rich business people who helped pay for that mission, giving them special watching equipment and talking to important government people to get money for the operation. He knew how much it had cost in human lives. He had read all the reports about what went wrong. The papers all said everyone had died. But now here she was like a ghost wearing a jacket with patches from the past. A mother, someone who had lived when she wasn't supposed to. And standing in front of him was not a weak person, but someone with a will that could not be broken. Something beautiful started growing between them. Not love, not yet, but a deep understanding that they recognized each other. Two people carrying hurt that no one else could see, meeting each other in the coldest, saddest time of their lives. Ethan offered her something she hadn't had in many years. A steady, safe life. A job at one of his organizations that helped homeless soldiers who had come back from war. A safe place to live. A way to get the girls into good schools. Money to pay for someone to help them talk through their feelings and heal from bad memories. First, Harper said no. She wasn't used to letting people help her with anything. But as she watched happiness come back into her daughter's faces, she realized that this wasn't about being too proud to accept help anymore. This was about building a new life from the pieces of what had been destroyed. The army jacket stayed with her, but now it wasn't just a reminder of death and loss. Now it was proof that she was a survivor. And one day, when she stood on a stage at a big fancy party where rich people gave money to help soldiers, telling her story to hundreds of people, her voice clear and steady even though her hands shook just a little bit, she wore that jacket with pride. She told everyone there, "I wasn't supposed to live through what happened to me, but I did survive because even when the whole world tried to bury me and forget I existed, one person saw me and remembered I was human. And that person's kindness saved not just my life, but my daughter's lives too." The whole room went completely quiet. Then every single person stood up and clapped their hands as loud as they could. Ethan, sitting in the front row, stood up with tears running down his face. Sometimes being kind doesn't make a lot of noise. It doesn't bang on your door demanding attention. It just waits quietly until you're ready to accept it. And when someone finally does accept that kindness, it doesn't change their life with loud thunder and lightning. Instead, it changes everything with gentle warmth that spreads slowly through their whole world. If this story made you feel something good in your heart, please like this video, write a comment about what you thought, and share it with someone who needs to believe that good things can still happen. Follow Kindness Corner to see more amazing stories about real people like this. When you support our work, you help us bring more love and humanity back into the world. Special request: if a stranger has ever helped you when you needed it, or if you've helped someone without expecting anything back, please tell us your story in the comments below. We would love to hear about how kindness changed your life or someone else's life.